You know, I teach in many different Bible schools, you know, and I see, you know, guys going through 4 years of Bible school and then, you know, 2 more years for the master's degree. And they are so excited, man, when I'm going to get out there, when I'm going to get out there into the ministry. You will say, oh, man, can't wait until I get out there. And the moment they get into the church, they realize there's giants in the church. And many of them quit the ministry and go back into workforce because they can handle the giants. You know, it's amazing to see how these things work in our life. Why is that so? Why do we have all these giants? You see, these giants can either become a lid on our potential, or, you know, they can become a springboard to the destiny with God. Either or. There's only two ways that giants could work. You know, they have a function. They have something, you know, to do. And it's either or. Either it's going to be a real, you know, potential that God is going to give you, you know, and you're going to see an incredible, you know, assignment towards the plan of God. Or you're going to see, you know, that they're going to be a lid on your potential in God, and they're going to destroy you. So now, if we properly understand what giants function in your life, in my life, you know, we can probably redirect ourselves and we can see how can we use that moment in order to bring God glory and honor and victory to our lives. The problem is, you know, the giants, they just don't go away. They're there. You know, these are like nasty creatures. I always compare them with cockroach. You know, those things you can step on them, you know, and they just like this, you know, and they go on. They're resilient, you know, they just know. You know, I mean, I'm one of those people, you know, like a cockroach and me don't work together good. It's either them or it's me, but not both together. You know, I just cannot live with those creatures. I think, you know, that, you know, there must be demon-inspired creatures. You know, I cannot understand God would make cockroaches. You know, I mean, absolutely not. You know, it's the worst kind of an enemy that I have. You know, I was only once, you know, confronted with a cockroach, like very clear and close to me. I tell you, you know, I got so scared, you know, I couldn't sleep. Oh, you know, these are nasty, nasty creatures. Giants are worse than that, you know, like they just don't go away. They're always there. They're always there, you know. And so you see, a lot of people, you know, they think, you know, oh, you know, I'm going to get rid of giants. You know, marriage, for example. You know, there's a problem in a marriage, you know, and they say, wow, you know, something's happening. We can no longer love each other. You know, we just don't function together. The chemistry is gone. Whatever is gone, you know, it's just not functioning properly. And so, you know, many times married couple decide, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to buy tickets and we're going to go on vacation. You know, we're just going to go for 2 weeks someplace, somewhere, you know, where there's no relatives, no friends, no job, no pressures, no telephone, no nothing. We're just going to go out there, you know, spend time together and everything is going to work out fine. And they go 2 weeks, you know, someplace, they spend $5,000 buying tickets, getting a hotel, you know, getting out there, you know, and just saying, we're going to enjoy ourselves. And, you know, it's a wonderful time and everything seems to be working out and things are changing in their life and they're so excited about it, only to realize when they come home, the giants say, hello, we're back. And starts all over again. You know, because giants just have the way of not going away. They're there, you know, and the moment you think, you know, they're gone, they're back and say, we are back again, we are back again, we are back again. Because you see, they don't go away. Either you defeat them or they're going to be there. You know, there's a lot of things like this in our lives, you know. People, you know, on the job. I don't know if you have one of those jobs, but I know I talk to people and they tell me, you know what, I can't stand my boss or I cannot work with these people in a job, so this is it. It's all over. I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to go someplace else. And people quit the job, and the moment, you know, they take another job and they get there, realize there is giants on this job also. So what do you do then? You know, many people in the church think there's giants in the church. Do you know that? There's someone there, you know, that they feel, no, this person is a giant for me. You know, I can't stand it. We had two ladies. And they could not get along with each other. They saw each other as a giant. You know, men have a different way of dealing with each other. But boy, when it gets to the women, you know, it's getting scary. Because, you know, their emotions are much, much better in gear than ours. We rationalize certain things out, you know, and then we try it again. With ladies, no, it doesn't go that fast. You know, it's good if it's good. It's better than men's. But when it's bad, it's really bad. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. And so these two ladies, you know, both were kind of wealthy, you know, both could do a lot of things, you know, and they just couldn't get along with each other. And this one lady, you know, when she saw that the other lady is outdoing her and she cannot get to her and she cannot do whatever, you know, she realized, man, says, this is it. I'm not going to church because every time I come to church, I have to face this giant. This giant. She's there all the time. She smiles at me. I can't face this giant. I'm going to get out. I'm going to go someplace else. And so she did. She left the church and went someplace else. Oh, well, 6 months later, this lady is back. What happened? Oh, don't ask, don't ask, don't ask. I said, what happened? Don't ask. What happened? You know what? When I got to that church, there were 3 giants. I said, aren't you thankful you have only one here? You're better off here than there, huh? So she came back. She said, I can face. There were 3 giants. You see, that's the life situation for every one of us. No, there is giants. You think you can flee something? There is no perfect place. There is no promised land without giants. You will have a giant no matter where you go, no matter what situation. You can change your citizenship. You can move to Australia. You can get a different job. You can go to a different church. There will be giants. So now, what do we do with them? How do we get done? Because you see, either we know how to face them or we are going to have a real difficult time. You see, David knew how to do these things. And the first lesson this morning, what we learned from David is this. There is no throne without giants. All right? If you are aiming for throne, there is going to be giants on a journey to the throne. And you see, that was one of the problems that David was facing. See, little David, as he was, the first giant he faced was a lion. Here's a shepherd boy out there, you know, with a flock of sheep, you know, and is attending to them, you know, is out there. And suddenly one day, the Bible tells us there was a giant facing this little Goliath, this little David. No, there was this lion there. And the Bible tells us, you know, the Spirit of God just came over him and he has strength and power and he just go out there and just tears this lion apart. And now he thought, I got rid of him, praise God, now things are okay. Well, just to realize, you know, that after lion there comes a bear. So he's facing another giant. And then the Bible tells us after this, he's facing Saul, another giant. And then he's facing Goliath, another giant. You see, the way to throne is through the steps of facing giants. If you want to come to any kind of significant change, if you want to see yourself being established, if you're aiming for the throne, I can tell you this morning, you're going to have to face giants and overcome these giants in your life. And that's what David did. But how did he face giants? What was the secret of his victory over giants? And here's a very simple indication to us. You see, David, as a little boy, spent a lot of time out, you know, in the field under the sky, you know, praying and fellowshipping with the Lord. Fellowshipping with the Lord. Fellowshipping with the Lord. He was there and spending time with God. If you want to face giants, you're going to have to learn spending time with God, because that is the only time of preparation. That is the time of equipping. That is the time to give you courage. That is the time, you know, to give you strength to face your giants. Many people today have been defeated and are defeated today because they have not learned to spend their time before God and with God to equip themselves to be able to face the giants.